Hey, what's happening? Summer gloves in March. Hell yeah. Why are we sitting still? Let's get moving. Welcome back to the channel, my friends. It is a Saturday afternoon. It's, 60 degrees. Yes, look, 60 degrees as I try to ride off into the bushes or trees. Anyway, it is a gorgeous day. There is still salt on the roads. You will be able to see that shortly. So this shiny bike, look how shiny, is going to be washed again. But that, that really ties in well. So today's topic is all about purpose and time management. So I've got some strategies for you. I've got some things that I do, so they're sort of tied there, and some pitfalls to look out for. And hopefully this helps. So if it does, let me know in the comments below. This is meant to be an open discussion because I am by no means an expert, but I do a lot of thinking. I mean, what else are you supposed to do in the shower, right? So, hey, TMI, John, TMI. It feels so good to be back out on two wheels. And I believe I fixed my camera angle for my helmet cam, so you're not looking at the ground so much. So, without any further delay, let's get into it. What is time management? Time management is taking all of the things you have to do and prioritizing them against the things that you want to do, and then boiling it down to what you're going to get done today. So in my case, I wanted to go to my P.O. box, and I wanted to ride my motorcycle, and I was in first gear, okay. And I wanted to talk to you guys about some time management skills that I have been putting into practice. So that's three things right there, and I'm doing them all with one. So that's the first strategy. That's multitasking, but there's a caveat in there. The more things you add to your list of what you're doing simultaneously, the less you get done. So in my case, right now, I'm riding and recording, but if you're sitting at your computer and you're trying to watch a YouTube video and you're trying to get some work done, you're not going to be able to focus 100% on either one. So you have to make a conscious decision and prioritize what is the highest need that you have. So for me, when I'm riding and recording, it's obviously safely motorcycling down the road. Keeping the bike upright is job one. Job number two is to talk to you, which is why my videos get scatterbrained, because something happens like that truck over there. And he didn't do anything, but I had my eye on him. You know, and this guy crossing the double line. You know, I got to keep my eye on these people, so I'll lose track of whatever it was I was talking about. Where were we? I'm kidding, we're talking multitasking. So you really have to prioritize it and not do things just because you can do three things at once. I will not be opening this Pepsi bottle while riding. Nope, I will be stopped for that. So in this case, we're not going to the P.O. box in this video. That's a separate video, but I'm going to combine it into the same ride, so I get all the footage at the same time, and I'm good to go. Another caveat of that is the 360 camera. I wanted to do a video on it, part of the 360 experience, and I decided not to. So I prioritized this ride for these two things, because I knew if I tried to do three, it was going to make a lot more work in the editor for me with not a lot of gain, because it would just be so much more work to handle all three cameras and still get my point across and worry about that. There's only so many hours in a day, and I have to prioritize. So that's the first big takeaway, is prioritization, figuring out what is most important to you and then executing. So we discussed multitasking, prioritization. We've delved into time management a little bit. There's more to it than that though, and that is to do everything with purpose. If you're going to choose to do something, and even if it's just scrolling along on Facebook or Instagram, you're choosing to do that, do it with purpose. Because if you're just doom scrolling, or that's a new one I heard, it's scrolling, looking at bad news all the time, it really brings your mood down. Don't do that. Hey, there's a bonus tip for you. And consuming's a funny thing, because I read somewhere or heard somewhere that if you are consuming, you are not creating. The only exception to that rule I've found is Lego, because you're creating something but you're consuming the parts. You're not actually eating the parts, but you're consuming them. They're going into a set. And yes, I know, Misplaced Motovlogger and a few others, they're gonna be like, John, you mentioned Lego again, you yeah, well, f you too. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. It's a little windy, but you see that there, the remote? Yes, that thing has saved me a ton of hours in DaVinci Resolve. I swear to goodness, it is probably my number one, number two top editing tool. It just saves me so much time, because if you record a 3-hour ride, you've got 3 hours of footage to go through, and for every frame you have to make a decision. Do I want to keep this or throw it? I'm oversimplifying it or overcomplicating it, because obviously you can go and cut 10 minutes here and 20 minutes there and stuff easily. And I didn't do a jump off on this light. I like doing the jump offs, by the way. That's pretty cool, and it shows off your bike. And when you got a pretty bike like this, why not show it off, right? And beauty's in the eye of the beholder, I get that. Nice and easy. This salt's a little slippery. And these guys can't go anywhere at the speed limit, can they? Jeez, the number of bad drivers out today is pretty high. Anyway, where was I? Yes, the remote as editing tool, because if you don't get the shot, you don't have to edit the footage. On the flip side, if you don't get the shot, you don't get the shot. So you're gonna miss things from time to time. You can set hindsight on your GoPros if they're late model GoPros. You could do that, but I haven't done it yet. I'll figure it out eventually. So those are just some of the tips and tricks I do for time management, that while I love editing, I can minimize it, and it just takes away the footage I wasn't gonna use anyway. So now I'm more mindful and purposeful in my riding and recording. It reminds me of that scene in Goodfellas where Henry Hill's talking about Big Paulie. And he says, Paulie didn't move fast for anybody, because Paulie didn't have to. And really what Paulie was doing was, he was moving with purpose, okay? He had a purpose to every movement. And he only made the moves he wanted to make and needed to make, even physically and strategically within his organizations, shall we say. Ooh, it's windy out today. So it feels like a good wind though. It's 60 degrees. If you've got some time management tricks, multitasking tricks, hell, if you want to talk about motovlogging, let me know in the comments below. All right, I am pulling up to the P.O. box here shortly, so I'm going to wrap this up. But I want you to remember to be mindful and purposeful in the things you do. It will benefit you greatly. You'll have more time in your day to do the things you really want to do if you cut out the fluff, the things that you don't really want to do. So I hope this was helpful. I really do. And who else thought my Pepsi bottle was going to come flying out of the cup holder? I did. So anyway, 2 mantras. 1, you have a 100% track record of making it through a bad day. And 2, do something nice for yourself every day. That might be clicking on one of the videos here on the screen or on the playlist and checking out a bunch of old road reality content. It's sure to entertain and delight, and I don't know, make you scratch your head and go, huh? It sort of reminds me of Goodfellas, when Hank Hill? I don't remember. Henry Hill, that's his name.